Spencer, can you see the screen? I don't know if... Okay, he said something like yes. I hope so. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Uh,
So we have 2015, 2025, whatever number of things you need, what time you need to talk into about your research. You can go into details, you can high level. We can have a Q&A afterwards, so we can please take notes if we see something interesting. You can just ask Melvin. He is now the expert in human digital twins in the room, so this is why he did this. So thank you very much for opening today's session, Melvin.
Thanks.
Today's session is focusing on healthcare. You'll see digital twin applications in healthcare. So Melvin will be the first speaker. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Dr. David. So hi everyone, I'm Melvin. You may know me from previous sessions or previous courses. Today I'm going to talk about the use of digital twins in healthcare, specifically focusing on human digital twins. I will first start by a quick overview of what this concept is all about, and we'll explore some of its application and share some universal framework on how to make that and create some such kind of digital twins for the healthcare uses. And to be honest, this presentation is an awfully good start for the bunch of presentations of today on healthcare, so I hope you take the most out of it. Digital twins, or DTs, were initially presented by NASA in a long time ago. And they are virtual replicas of real-world entities. Now they are used in many different parts of industry or research. They accurately represent physical objects. They capture processes and stay connected and simulate behaviors of real-time objects or analysis. In healthcare, we call them as human digital twins, or as abbreviated as HDT. Or HDTs are designed to continuously reflect changes at the molecular, psychological, physical, and even behavioral levels. These HDTs help create personalized treatment plans based on individual health profiles, and that can improve both prevention and treatment of patients. Even though this technology is really promising, it's still in early stages in life sciences. So that's basically because creating personalized digital models for every single human is a really tough job and challenging. And so in this study, I'm going to talk about how we can get closer to solve that issue by taking a look into a framework, which I call it as a universal framework or a networking architecture. Well, this is let me hide that nav bar from here. Okay. This is a quite long list of applications of digital twins, and healthcare is not an exception. Some of them are available in this list and some of them are available on that picture. Let's go over them one by one from the list on the left. When we say DTs offer proactive disease diagnosis, we mean that they continuously collect real-time data from patients. This helps us spot early signs of disease before they fully develop. And with timely alerts and lifestyle recommendations, we can focus on preventive care. The second was personalized treatment. Instead of having a one-size-fits-all approach, digital twins allows us to create treatment plans that are tailored to each person, which can effectively improve the therapy that are currently available in hospitals or healthcare centers. The doctors or surgeons can also prepare for their surgeries using those kind of stuff. So surgeons can use digital twins to rehearse complex procedures ahead of time to identify potential challenges. In the vaccine development, digital twins provide a way to test candidates in a simulated environment, which can speed up drug discovery and help optimize dosage for better safety. The fifth one is personalized preventive care. That means, with ongoing access to digital twins and health data, digital twins can analyze those subtle changes in patients' conditions, and so that by using them, we can create some kind of customized preventive strategies to address individual risk factors. Last but not least, we have something for optimizing hospital operations. So yeah, that's true. Digital twins are revolutionizing how hospitals operated by simulating patients' flow and even resource allocation, which helps us improve efficiency and reduce costs, and finally makes hospitals great again, or never mind, much smoother. Yeah. About the ideal characteristics of human digital twins, there is a long list of them available here. First off, everyone gets their own HDT with a unique ID. So it's something like social security number, social insurance number. This ID is your login, and it keeps you connected to your twin for your whole life. So as I said, HDTs start from the beginning of your life at birth. So it can be set by a doctor or by a physician or by your parents. And over time, you can complete it. That specific feature of DTs can also inherit traits from your family. So it can also gives you some heads up about potential health risks down the line. And it can even pass those kind of traits to the next generation and offsprings of you, which is pretty amazing. Synchronous reflection of reality. Well, HDT is kind of like a mirror of you. So it constantly updates to match you, your growth, your aging, and even how you react to treatments. So to keep it like something, the best accurate version of you yourself at the moment. The fourth one, data integration from medical sources. With your permission, doctors or healthcare providers or caregivers can upload all of your medical information, such as your scans, your test results, your treatments, even everything related to your health, to build a super complete health profile in your HDT. Some parts of your HDT, like height, like weight, can grow automatically based on how other people, based on traditional historical data and how humans usually grow. But real-time data from, let's say, smart ring, smart watch, can keep it fine-tuned and accurate. Health assessment and personalized insights. Well, your HDT pulls in data from everywhere. As I said, wearable sensors are one of them, which tracks your vitals, which tracks your lifestyle info, and even environmental data. So it's all about getting the big picture of your health. And using all of that data, your HDT can do health checkups and give you some personalized advices. So imagine you are using AI and big data, and they're both doing maths and calculation to keep you healthy and share some results with you and your physician, which is pretty awesome. Privacy and access control. I think we left the interactive visualization. This is also an interesting topic to talk about, the visualization. Well, authorized people like doctors, like physicians, like even you, can log in and see how your HDT are acting right now. So a couple types of techniques like virtual reality, augmented reality, can also be incorporated in showing a 3D model of you and your health status in real time, which is, I think, is really cool and interesting. And in this process, privacy is huge. Yeah, we're talking about passwords, we're talking about fingerprints, and even blockchain, all of them to keep your data super safe and under your control. And finally, the whole system is based on trust. Everyone, such as doctors, individuals, need to be verified. Anybody who can access, who wants to have an access to that system, should be checked constantly in terms of security and any specific concerns. Well, now let's compare human digital twins to the conventional or normal HDTs. There are a couple things in common, and there are a lot of things that are unique with HDT. So for similarities, we all know that they're both digital copies of something in real world. They also the information flows in both directions. So that means the real thing sends data to the twin, and the twin also provides feedback. This is the concept of bidirectional data flow. The model-centric design is about the fact that they both use computational models to simulate behavior. And both of them require some security measures and protections because they contain sensitive data. Both of them also relies on similar technologies like cloud computing, like sensors, like data analysis. But what is different here, it's about the nature of human. It's about human being. Well, the first one is here. HDTs must count for thoughts, must consider emotions. So this often requires specialized biosensors and techniques from brain-computer interface research. Humans are also subjective in their responses. That means their responses are not just a bunch of numbers. We have feelings, we have experiences. So HDT also need to incorporate psychology. Intrinsic complexity is about the fact that humans are incredibly complex systems. So HDTs require knowledge from biology, psychology, physiology, and even the environment to make a comprehensive design. Genetic inheritance. So HDTs must track inherited traits and genetic variations, which also requires a couple of complex data analysis and data structures. We are also social beings, so HDTs need to consider relationships and ethical and social dynamics. The last thing here in this list is about the expanded environmental sensitivity. So we are affected by much more than just temperature or pressure. So HDTs must also consider things like stress, like social anxiety, like social context, and even exposure to disease. Okay, so far we talked about what HDTs are and how they can revolutionize personalized healthcare. Now let's talk about how we actually build them. I'm going to introduce a universal framework for that purpose, which I call it as networking architecture. I choose the term networking because it emphasizes on how this framework connects all different parts of the digital twin system through a network of actions or data flow. This architecture consists of 5 distinct phases. This is based on my synthesis of insights from 7 research papers. They call it multi-layer architecture, some other call it networking architecture as well. I've brought all of those comments together, and we will talk about those phases in upcoming slides briefly. The first layer or first phase is data acquisition. As it's obvious in its name, this layer is about gathering data and information from HDT. And since we are all people and we're tracking people, the data comes from a lot of different sources. Sources such as electronic health records, which consist of everyone's medical history, such as scans, diagnoses, allergies, or even their treatments. There are another concept here, which is Internet of Medical Things. There are a couple of sensors related to that topic, I would say. They can be categorized into two different parts, implantables and wearables. Wearables such as smart glasses, contact lenses, clothes, even patches and armbands or shoes can be categorized into the category of wearables. All of them are going to be used to track things like heart rate or even movement and glucose or brain activity as well. For implantables are teeny tiny biosensors which are gonna get inside the body to measure things like pressure, temperature, or some other cellular activities which is crucial for early detection of disease. We also use some kind of social media. We call it as soft sensors as well in this context. So we analyze posts to get insights into emotion and psychological states from those sources. Every single layer has some sort of challenges. And the challenges in this layer includes limited battery life for wearables and implantables. We also have some problems with data fusion complexities because we are getting data from a lot of different sources. And also there are some crucial privacy and security issues for this massive data. The next layer is the communication layer. The communication layer is how the physical twin or PT and the virtual twin or VT talk to each other. So it splits into two parts, on-body communication and beyond-body communication. On-body communication handles short-range data transfer, like from sensors on your body to your smartphone. They basically use technologies of wireless body area networks or WBANs. And these sensors are low power, so energy efficient wireless technologies like Bluetooth low energy, Zigbee, molecular communication are amongst those mostly used techniques here. There are two alternatives here, which is narrowband IoT and 6-low WPAN, which I've came across in a couple other literature. I thought it would be a good idea to put them here. For beyond body communication, these type of sensors, they connect the local gateway to remote servers like the cloud data centers where those virtual twins live. So they need to handle lots of data, and this huge amount of data should be handled really fast and in both directions. Okay. So, and for this purpose, they have two different techniques or concepts: tactile internet and semantic communication. Challenges in this phase are regarding interface of closed wireless signals as well as time constraints for applications like remote surgery, which specifically tactile internet will be used for remote surgery. In the remote surgery, you're looking for delay of something lower than 1 milliseconds and a connectivity of 99.59 percentage, which is still like something in utopia, I would say. They're working on that. Computation layer is where the thinking happens. HDTs need serious computation power, so there are two main approaches here. The first one is multi-access edge computing, or MEC, which helps put computing power at the edge of the network, like at cell towers or Wi-Fi access points. That makes responses really fast. The second approach is edge cloud collaboration. Well, yes, MEC or multi-access edge computing is great for quick responses, but it cannot handle everything. For really complex stuff like simulating biological processes, according to the literature, we need to use clouds, and so we use it. The data management layer is about handling the massive amount of information flowing through the HDT system. Well, it's not just about storing that data. We need to keep it clean. We need to have an access to that. And most importantly, we have to keep it secure. I previously mentioned that we are getting data from various sources, including pervasive sensors, such as wearables or implantables. We also have data from social networks, social media, even some from electronic health records. And to be honest, we also have some feedbacks and results from the virtual twin itself. So these data are varied. These data are high volume and multidimensional, which needs to be managed properly. They are most of the times noisy and extremely sensitive. So what can we do here is to go over 3 different steps. The first step is pre-processing. The pre-processing cleans the data by removing errors and filling gaps, and reduces it by simplifying without losing key information. 2 different approaches like feature selection and feature extraction are used in this process. And at the end, we fuse those data from different sources. The second step is that we store them through some platforms like Hadoop. Hadoop is the most popular platform that are currently used for that purpose. HBase or OpenStack Swift is also the other two alternatives here.
We would have to wrap up the very soon.
I have only 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
If you want to leave some discussion,
Yeah.
time for discussion, if you wrap up in 5 minutes, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish before 3, I guess. So, and third, we ensure security and privacy through cybersecurity measures like privacy preserving, encryption, anonymization, federated learning, and even we're gonna use blockchain for secure and transparent record keeping. The last phase is data analysis and decision making. So this layer is the brain of the HDT. It's where we all turn those kind of stored data into actionable insights. And the key to this is AI. We use 3 different types of AI: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. 3 different techniques for supervised learning includes k-nearest neighbor, support vector machine, and deep learning. They also use convolutional neural network for that purpose here. For unsupervised learning, the literature mainly focused on k-means clustering and GANs. And deep learning and Q-learning were the most viable options for reinforcement learning here. So, as I said, the data analysis and decision making is where the magic happens. So we turn those raw data into personalized healthcare insights. First, we need to make AI decisions more transparent. This is a challenge. Right now, it feels like that the comments or recommendations are done through black boxes, which is not something favorable. The other thing that is challenging here is the shortage of labeled data, even for some disease like rare conditions or rare disease. And also, these complex models need a lot of processing power, so there should be some other researches on this side as well. So to bring it all together, we will compile a list of open issues and potential future works here. I've already talked about the other top two options. Let's just focus on the last one about social and professional barriers. Well, doctors and healthcare providers are understandably cautious about using black boxes algorithms, especially when they don't come with clear explanations. If I ask you, are you going to trust an AI which gives you a treatment recommendation without any reasoning? Would you trust it? You probably won't. So let alone the doctors. And there is another concern about job displacement amongst them. Yeah, HDT is a really powerful system, but their purpose is to support, not replace healthcare providers. But sadly, many clinicians feel mistrust toward these systems. And to me, aside from those listed ethical and technical limitations, convincing people to accept HDT is going to be the hardest one, although it should be always the easiest one. This is the list of selected references I have, and that's all from me. Thanks for listening. Right on time.
Thank you very much, Melvin. Yeah. So the floor is yours. You can ask questions now. I'm pretty sure you have some. Questions.
I was going to ask, in terms of having a digital twin like HDT, how do you envision that deals with interaction with privacy and security? Is it like a centralized data? Like if you have, like, let's pretend different pharmacies, different hospitals, how do they all know everything about you? Like, is there like a central authority, or do you have, like, how do you do that? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, the thing that I've proposed right now is the universal framework that are working on that to make it happen. Right now, there is not a specific central agency or a universal company to handle those specific concerns for privacy issues. There are a couple of bunch of ideas to use different technologies to handle them, but right now they're focusing on finding a good alternative to how to handle that. Yeah.
Big dissolve.
Exactly. It takes time. I mean, it's not gonna get solved really easy. Yeah.
So are there actually any examples of this being put into practice, even at a minor level?
Well, to be honest, I've reviewed a couple of papers. They've used some of those concepts for liver surgery in some other hospitals. I don't know, it was somewhere in California. And they've detected in other studies there is a disease called AAA, which is a cardio-related disease. The mortality rate is 80%, and if they can find the symptoms earlier, it will be much beneficial. They incorporated HDT amongst a couple of target people, and they could detect it in early stage. So I can say, yeah, I came across a couple papers that they have implemented that.
I know my quick search is, there are companies that claim they're doing stuff along those lines, but it looks like it's just fancy
Those are
health records.
personal research that's funded by personal hospitals, or I mean private hospitals. So sometimes those kind of stuff happen in local scale, you know.
Yeah, I'd imagine the biodata collected from these HDTs would be very valuable to companies if they want to sell it, even anonymously. Like if they anonymize all the data and they want to sell it. Do you know if any HDTs in industry, if they even exist, have provisions to allow them to sell data anonymously?
Mm-hmm.
If this even exists in industry yet?
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for asking that question. Well, there are a lot of concerns regarding data security and privacy. No matter if this is in North America or in Europe, they have their own GDPR style privacy issues for data protection in Europe. and they also have a couple items here in United States or North America, to be honest. But if we want to keep committed to those items or those regulations, it's hard to say that we can give them consent to sell the data to private sectors. This is something we should research more on that. I've never came across that during my literature review, to be honest.
No one has any more questions. You mentioned that like doing behavioral and psychological HDTs. Like at what point, in your personal opinion, do you think we cross into a George Orwellian world of Big Brother's always watching? Because that seems like exactly what would happen.
Well, yeah, I know, but human is really complex nature. So we're more than just some basic numbers or bunch of behaviors. We have something, we have emotions, we have feelings, so we have to consider them in our design. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That should be considered,
That's fantastic. Asimov has a better
Yeah.
the foundation series, and you can actually predict the behavior of large masses of people using
Mhm.
techniques.
Yeah.
But not exactly called psychomathematics, psychology, or something like
Mhm.
that. It's a very interesting question.
Mhm.
Hey, you have a question? Maybe
Please.
this last one, and then we can take it offline, obviously.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
add-ons that do you think would be better to kind of have it, and let's say the government like implemented this across all customers or whatever. Like, would it be better to kind of be in a opt-in, opt-out type of way, or do you think someone can maybe just opt in if they're getting treatment for like a specific thing, and then after they get better, they can be like, okay, I won't be having my data anymore, and then it can be like an in-and-out situation, or what do you think would be the best way to handle this kind of thing?
That's a pretty good one. I mean, everything that's going to be controlled by government going to get corrupted over time. So I would really prefer that not to get developed by the government or any kind of government. But as we have some kind of similar topics in for even cookies, cookies are something that you can opt in or opt out. I would really prefer them to be implemented by the preference of people, because it's going to collect a lot of different personal data, and it's not going to get removed over time. Imagine you have the genetic information from your ancestors linked to your personal data. So that's a lot of sensitive data. I think it should be just handled by the preferences. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Melvin.
You're welcome.
Very nice talk.
Thanks a lot.
And you can always take it offline, obviously.